Good evening. It's Friday, it's 8 o'clock, and it's time for the Matt Hayes Fishing Show. Yes, folks, it's time for us to talk fishing. And what a fantastic show that I've got lined up for you tonight. You just won't believe it. For a start off, I'm going to be joined by the amazing Babs Kaszewski, and she's going to be stalking some really big carp. Xenia Drury-Gregor's with us, and she's got news of a fantastic scheme for angling, which is the National Line Recycling Scheme, and that looks like it's going to be amazing. And the Duke's going to be here, folks. Yes, it's absolutely fantastic news. He's filed a lockdown report, which I'll be bringing you very shortly, and I'll be wading into the action by giving you my live float fishing tutorial. Now, I know that last time we did the floater fishing tutorial, that went down very well, didn't it? Ian Johnson, Graham McCult, regular, Jordan Char Hembry, evening to you, sir, and Matthew Jessup, Jan van den Root coming from Holland. I know that because Jan's got a picture in this week's show somewhere, and he had one actually last week. So not only have I got these amazing features for you, but of course the big highlight is your photographs, because what an amazing week. Hello Les Merry, how are you? Love to the missus as well, mate. Good to see you. And of course the inimitable Xenia Drury-Gregor's, who we'll be hearing quite a lot from in this show later on. But getting back to your pictures, and it is important. This really is the People's Fishing Show, and it's a fishing show that's on the move thanks to your involvement. The response to the photographic competitions has been absolutely amazing. I've been knocked out by your pictures, and don't worry folks, boy have I got a good selection for you tonight. Now, the show should go on for about an hour officially. Dickie, my producer, is always nagging me not to do more than an hour. But I know that a lot of you like me to stick around. So we'll get all the official business out of the way in an hour. And then basically after that, we'll move on to the kind of chilling out section, which is normally about 15 minutes long. So I've got a few shout outs to do first, and then it will be time to look at some of your pictures and to see Babs's amazing carp footage. So shout outs in advance, folks. To Dave Tolmin, a regular, lovely comment earlier in the week, Dave, spot on. Frankie Logan in Scotland, Dom Garnett, Ant Glasgow, a bit of jewellery, watching in Manchester. Raymond Half and John Mulvan, watching in Spain. John's a regular. Good evening, John, how are you? I hear that things are changing out there in Spain with the lockdown. And, well, that's good news for you. And it looks like things might be changing here. More of that later. Andy Greenwood from Sheffield. Luke Owen from Wolverhampton. Rumbletompton. John Martin from Somerset. Steve Davis from Bathgate in Scotland. Dan Palmieri. Now, where's Dan watching from? I'll just turn the music off for a minute because it must be a bit distracting now. Dom Palmieri, sorry, watching in Guernsey. Dickie and Keeley. Promise I won't do too long tonight, Dick. George and Phoebe, and folks, I've got to say, members of my family who are watching in absolute droves. So if you're part of the western side of the family or part of the Hatton posse, I know that, you know, you're watching in numbers. So hello all. My daughter Jess watching in Bonnie, Scotland with husband Paul. And last but not least, my mum and dad. Hello, mum and dad. Yes, I'm doing it live, and I hope I'm doing it well. I'm going to do my best. Send it up for mum and dad, everybody, because absolutely fantastic parents to me, a source of inspiration, and you don't know how much it means to me that they're actually able to tune in tonight, having mastered the technology, thanks to my great friends Phoebe Richards and George Howard. So thank you. Anyway, on with the show. First off, prize winners, there's a new email address for you to contact me on, and I'll be putting that up in the comments with the catch-up. So if you're watching this on catch-up, don't worry, you can put comments on, and I'll certainly see them and be commenting on them after the show goes out, normally for about a couple of days. But prize winners, you'll find the email address to claim your prizes on the comments at the end of the show on the catch-up. Now, what about the prizes that we've got tonight? Well, actually, I've got to say they are a little bit special. And the first one is I've got three, no less than three, Jrc X-Lite Landing Nets to give away. And these things are absolutely amazing. I'm going to come to some shout-outs in a minute. Finley Smeet and Graham Edwards, Dave Lucas, Simon Mayo, Stuart Baxter, Jamie Lloyd and Colin Arton there. Just managed to squeeze that in before handing you over to the lads from Carpology, who'll just tell you a little bit about this Jrc X-Lite Net, which 3 people are going to win tonight.
Hello carpologists. Today we're looking at a couple of different products from Jrc which are going to make landing fish, particularly at night, that little bit easier. Okay, so first up we've got the X-Lite Lander Net from Jrc, and at first glance it probably doesn't look a lot different to a lot of nets out there on the market. However, there are a few little differences, a few nice little features that make all the difference and really make it stand apart from the rest. Now the first one you're going to notice is how the handle actually comes in 2 pieces. Makes it a hell of a lot easier for transporting it.
Well, there you are, folks. I'll just cut into that there, but I think you've got the idea now that this is an extremely light and beautifully made landing net, which has got a light on it. And it's also part of a system where you can actually detach the light from the landing net and clip it onto your cap when you're fishing at night. So it's very cool, actually. And I've got 3 to give away, as I've already said. Now, also, we're going to give away 10 sets of the new amazing hollow belly shads, which are made by Berkeley. Hello, Phil Coupland, how are you? Kevin Brown, Samuel Gray, Alex Preston, Les Stewart. They're all coming on tonight. Don't worry, folks. Plenty of time for shout outs. If you're not lucky first time, just keep trying. All of your comments, all your likes, all of your love, please send it up for this show, because let me tell you, the more that you share, the more that you subscribe, and the more that you like this, the more quality it gets. Look how far we've come, everybody, from the first week. Now we've got an amazing show, and we can do better if you keep liking, you keep sharing and sending up that love. But anyway, let's have a look at the next prize, which is the Hollow Belly Shads from Berkeley. Now, there's a lovely shot of Babs holding up a selection of the lures, which, as you can see, are in absolutely tip-top condition. Spanking colour range, really nice glitter finishes, slightly translucent. They're very thin, actually, in cross-section, and that's quite useful because they've got a very good bait fish profile. And the other big thing about them, I do know, is that they actually collapse when the fish bite them, so they hold on to them for longer. You can also, I believe, impregnate them with scent. So there's loads to find out. Just check them on the Berkeley site if you want to know more about those fabulous hollow belly shads. Suffice to say, I've got 10 sets to give away. So I think that's going to be a very popular thing. So, folks, moving on without further ado, one of the big things that I'm introducing into the show now is some fishing footage, which we're going to watch together. I think you've already seen a little bit of this, and it's been really popular. And tonight I've got the pleasure of introducing a film from a very good friend of mine and a lady that I first worked with several years ago, actually, when we made a series together. And that series, which went out, I believe, on Amazon, was called Outcasts, and it was me and Babs Kaszewski who we were basically all over Ontario fishing together, and I discovered that this young woman is genuinely a fishing machine. She is unbelievable. And in the intervening years since when Babs and I last saw each other, she's developed a skill, a technique, a knowledge, and that is the thing about fishing. You know, the longer you spend at it, the luckier you get and the more knowledge you build. Anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's just join Babs now somewhere, I believe, in France. And as you can see, it's a beautiful scene with all the wildflowers starting to pop out and a few insects. I'm not quite sure what she was on there, but, you know, they're interesting fighting insects. Well done, Babs. Ah, now there we are. That looks like a really beautiful scene. A very nice, neglected looking lake. Oh, hello. And here I can see, is it 5 carp altogether, I think Babs told me. And they're there. Look at these fish, just bathing, just sitting out the sun in the cover, as they often do. And she spotted them. She's a clever girl. I thought she probably would. I bet it didn't take her long. She's got polarising glasses on. Ah, a bit of acting there. Oh yeah. Now that looks like a mirror, doesn't it, to you, everybody? Send up a load of likes and loves if you think that's a mirror now. Send them up because I'm going to check this later. There's, oh yeah, cheeky little perch. Just dibbling there at a bit of flotsam on the surface. And what we got there? Oh, there's back to our carp. Still undercover, but I bet our girl has got a plan to sort them out. Let's have a look. Oh, well, she's got the serious kit out. GT2 stalking rod, some boilies, and a fly. A spider, actually, of some description, yeah. He likes them. Pen reels, I know she always uses those. JRC, bite alarms, and indicators. What a beautiful lake. I can see why you... Oh, she's in. Yeah, she's in. And, of course, now she's got to keep the fish away from the cover. Now, this is the most difficult part of the operation because what's going to happen here, I reckon... Yeah, did you see the line ping off the branch then? The fish is coming towards her and kiting. And she's got no control over the direction whatsoever. So all she can do is crank and keep the rod down. Yeah, she's got it out of trouble now, look. Once you see it move off into that open water, then she can back off. But she did the right thing. She played it hard. Oh, 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 Miss Babs, that's a proper one. Yeah. Oh dear. I really hope this doesn't come off because this is a really... They didn't look that big under the tree, did they? This is absolutely amazing, isn't it, Sean Claxey, Clayton, Jamie Gorman, John Holler, Alex Moses. I think I'll come back to some more shots. She's got it. She's got it. Good girl. Oh, well now, there you go. A common. Now I know that... Oh, well. I mean, what can you say? Send it up for Babs Kashevsky. What a fish. Oh, hang on. It looks like there's a little bit more. She's not finished yet. We've got some lovely arty shots of... Yeah. Oh, there's the unhooking mat. Very important, folks. We've talked about that in previous... There's a mirror. See, I told you I'd seen a mirror. She must have got that one as well, the cheeky monkey. And look at that clear water. Absolutely proper gorge. Babs. Send it up for Babs. Please, everybody. Likes, loves. Oh, my word. Well, I mean, that is... Oh, hang on. There's a little bit more. This is unbelievable, Babs. Oh, yeah, you're looking happy there. Well, oh, my word. Well, just when you thought it might not get any better, just send them up now, folks, because this is... Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful fish. And a beautiful way to catch it. And there's our heroine. Slipping it back, none the worse for wear because she's used an unhooking mat. And I think everybody, you'll agree that that was absolutely... I know that Babs is watching tonight. She's watching right now. So please, everybody, show your appreciation for the one, the only Babs Kashevsky. And you'll be seeing more from Miss Babs in future shows because let me tell you, she really is a fish catching machine. Now, another little bit of news which I've got to impart to you. If you have a look on my page, you'll find some links to a new book that's coming out from an old mate of mine called Stu Allen. And Stu actually is one of my fishing mentors. He may well be watching tonight as well. I certainly hope he is. I know that Chris Lightbloom is, Xenia Gregorek, Jury Gregorek, of course, Graham Backhouse, Joey Reese, Sam Best, Joe Alexander, Jean van der Root, you've got me again, Jim Wilson, and Uncle Tom Cobley and all. Anyway, getting back to Stu's book, it is amazing. It's a book about chub fishing and it's published by Little Egret Press. I'm hoping to get my hands on a copy soon, but apparently advanced copies are selling out very quickly, and if you want a copy, it's good to order one. So that's Little Egret Press. You'll find the links on my page. Stuart Allen, one of my fishing mentors. Now, I promised you a report earlier on from the Duke, who, as you know, has been in lockdown. And I know many of you have been asking how he is. Well, the Duke, I can tell you, folks, is on tonight. I can see Babs is on, sending me thanks. No, thank you, Babs. I think that was absolutely amazing. And I know what loops you literally jumped through to produce that film for me, Babs. I really appreciate it, and I really hope to have you on here as much as possible in the future. If you'd like to see Babs again, she catches massive catfish, she catches massive carp, she's fishing in France these days. There's going to be no stopping this lady. Just send up those likes and loves, because I'll watch this later on catch up, and when you react, I can tell what you really want to see, and it helps me to put the show together. I'm pretty confident you'll be liking and loving right now, and if you're not, well, then you certainly should be. All right, likes and loves as well for the legend that is Sir Michael Brown. And here is the Duke's amazing lockdown report.
I'm keeping myself busy. I'm writing a new book, playing the guitar now and again. I'm even building a model railway, the one I wanted to build when I was a kid and never got round to it. And of course there's been a bit of gardening as well, I've had to do that. But and then the highlight of the week, of course, is when our shopping comes from Tesco's, our home delivery. God, we're like kids at Christmas, me and Jan, getting all the stuff out, you know, short of bog rolls and short of tea bags, and oh, it's such a relief when the guy knocks on the door and brings it in. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I've got to take my dogs for a walk. I hope you enjoy this evening's entertainment with Matt. I know he's really going to pull all the stops out to entertain you, and I hope to look in again and see you soon. Take care, everybody.
Well, folks, I think that's worthy of a big round of applause. Every time you see the man, he sends all his best love to you, as you can see. He's doing extremely well, and like all of you, I think he's really looking forward to getting out fishing again. Aren't we all, everybody? Aren't we all? Of course we are. Simon Talkington, apparently he's still stuck in Qatar. Simon, that is unbelievable. Marcus Hayes saying what great work from Babs. Kim Drury looking in. I know Kim watches every time. Rab Rennick says, have you ever tried magnet fishing? I have, actually. One of those kid games anyway. Keep them coming in, folks. Lee Final. We're going to look at some of your pictures now. A reminder that you are competing for those fantastic prizes. 3 Jrc X-Lite landing nets and 10 sets, no less, of these wonderful new hollow belly shads from Berkeley. Very important before I come into the pictures to remind you there's a new email address prize winners, and it will be published in the catch up. If you look at the post, I'll actually put it in there under my comments, and there'll be useful links and stuff in there as well. So let's have a look at some of your pictures, shall we? Because you've been absolutely amazing, and I've included as many as I possibly can this week. Fantastic contributions, starting off with this one here. Now, this one is by a gentleman called Johan Rue, I believe. I hope I've got that right, Johan. And I think this is an amazing picture. There's something about it that intrigues me. It just draws me in. For a start off, I don't know where it is, Johan. I don't know which country it is even. It could be anywhere in Europe. I'm suspecting Holland, the Netherlands, or something like that. But I don't know. What does everybody else think? I mean, put the comments down, folks, because let me tell you something about the way this works. It's simple, really. The more you like, the more you love, and especially the more you share, the bigger the show gets. It's as simple as that. We're trying to create as much reach as possible, aren't we, Jodie Stafford, watching again, been on every live, always here. And I think I've got a shout out for you anyway, Jodie. I hope you're feeling well, because I know that you weren't very well a couple of weeks ago. Aaron Chuck, yeah, Ian Webster, Linda Penfold Saxon. Yes, I think we've got one of your pictures later, Linda. And yes, the Duke is aging exceptionally well. If you agree with Linda, of course, send up your love for the Duke, because as I said, you know, all these interactions, all these shares, you might think that it doesn't make any difference, but it is absolutely the oxygen that creates this amazing show. And then we will move into phase 2 when we all get out fishing again, because then it will all be about your latest catches and being able to display those. I've also got plans to feature video clips in the future from you guys. So make sure that you've got the best filming equipment you can, and give it a go, because in the future I'll be calling for film as well. Nixie Links, Angie Graham, William Gray. I think one of your picks is coming up in a minute, William. And Viv Shears. Viv, you're on. Viv, of course, from the National Line Recycling Scheme. So let's have a look at another shot. Now, this is the sort of picture that everybody loves to post of one of their mates. And I'm afraid that Tony Young has copped his mate an absolute blinder with this one. It made me laugh a lot. The poor lad, he's got his bivvy set up in the most beautiful spot. I mean, look at that spot there. He's got, it looks like some sort of stout fence behind, obviously keeping the riffraff out, and no doubt acting as a very nice windbreak. And he's sat out there going pink as a lobster in the sun and not a care in the world. And his mate, Tony Young, is taking pictures of him. I mean, that is lower than a rattlesnake's belly in a wagon rut. Some of you, of course, are going to win these fantastic prizes, but Tony, that is so evil, you can't possibly qualify for a prize. Now, I said I mentioned William Gray. This is quite interesting, isn't it? Now, this is obviously clearly not taken yesterday. And that's one of the things that I love about it. Apparently, this is William, who's a regular viewer. I think William's been on all of the lives, haven't you, William? I'm pretty sure you have. William's a regular viewer. And this is with him with his mum in the early 60s, somewhere in Scotland, I'm guessing. And look at the cars in the background. And there's William with his very first fishing rod. And little did you know, William, when you took that picture, and especially when you preserved it, your mum probably did, that you'd end up entertaining us all on the Matt Hayes Fishing Show live to lots and lots of people. Send it up for William, because he's a regular viewer, and that's a fantastic effort. Very creative when we look at the reasons why we fish, which is the hashtag that you should use currently for your pictures. Now, here's a great picture from an old mate of mine, capturing the moment. This one actually is by my good friend Tom Barlam. And Tom always turns up at the shows and exhibitions that I attend. He makes absolutely unbelievable cheese and pickle sandwiches. I mean, they're just fabulous. And he came out again at the recent Northern Angling Show. Tom, you are a top man. Tom's going to get involved with the show because he's a fine photographer, as you can see here, in capturing this wonderful moment when a very big fish is hooked up. And you know what's amazing? Look very closely, folks. There is a lady bathing in the gap in between them. So, you know, it's obviously somewhere very, very public. Anyway, Simon Datey's on, Thomas Wilson, Timothy Griffin, Martin Askey, Les Lidbetter, Darren Michael Slater. Tom's on, Tom Bullen. He's looking at his own picture now. There you go, mate. This must be a bit weird for you. Christopher Elliott. More possibly from Christopher later. Adam Rawlings, Matt Ruston. Possibly more from you later without wishing to give the game away. But anyway, as you can see, the standard of pictures that we've got this week is absolutely fabulous. And I particularly like this effort from Tom, which captures a wonderful, wonderful moment. There's William again for reasons beyond my control currently. However, what I will be showing you is another one of Tom's pictures. Now, this one, I'm guessing, is in Thailand, because I happen to know that Tom has been fishing in Thailand. So it's a place, of course, where lots of people go fishing. They catch all these incredible, amazing tropical fish. And Tom's picture is an absolute beauty. A beautiful sunset. Look at the trees in the background. John Dipriel. Well, you better stay tuned in, John Dipriel, because I think you're on later as well. And possibly Jodie Stafford. So I'd stay tuned if I were you, folks. All right, Matthew Jessup, Gareth Manifold. Lovely to see you tonight, sir. Okay. So let's have a look at another one. And this one is really nice, actually. It's the Angler's Paradise Lure Weekend picture. And I recognise Dion there, right at the front. And you can see they're sporting a catfish caught on the Lure Weekend. Now, this is interesting, actually, everybody, because I know a little bit about the Angler's Paradise Lure Weekend, because I actually opened, I believe, the first one. And I have been invited back since. It's just that things have been a bit hectic at the time it's gone on. But nonetheless, I always follow this event with great interest, because it takes place in November in Devon at Angler's Paradise. And I know that everybody has a great time. Good crowd of people, brilliant atmos. Well worth joining in, and they catch some fish, as this wonderful photograph proves. Isn't it great, everybody? Aaron Chuck, Craig Palmer, Lee Saunders. Lee's watching from Cambridge, apparently. Ben Wright's loving it. I hope everybody else is loving it too. Get those shares and likes going. Just keep the traffic going, folks, because we want to break some records tonight. Last time was good. This time it's got to be brilliant, and it all depends on you. Just keep sharing, keep liking, keep loving. Alex Cowan, Phil Copeland. I've shared this watch party with over 2,500 anglers. Crikey, mate, that's amazing. Anyone else who wants to start a watch party, that is an amazing idea. And, you know, if you've got your posses, because I know we've got the Smethwick posse. I don't know whether anyone from Smethwick is on tonight. They're bound to be, I'm sure, and I might have missed them. Babs Kashevsky saying, what a great picture. Well, there you go. You've got a master angler complimenting you on your photographs. Then your Jrc X saying beautiful. Well, of course she would. I mean, she is a bit biased, let's be fair about it. And speaking of Zen, she's been doing absolutely fantastic work, everybody, and talking about really good work by creating stuff for kids to watch during the lockdown and to entertain them and their parents. And it's been absolutely excellent. All of the Fishing with Zen stuff is brilliant if you've got a family. I know a lot of you are. Send up the likes and loves if you are watching as part of a fishing family, because that seems to be just a massive theme. And when I watch this on catch up, I'll be able to see any comments that you add, even after it's gone out live. Keep adding your comments. I'll be able to see the stuff that you like. And, you know, I know you're not going to send up stuff that, you know, that you don't like, but I'll just be able to tell by the general reaction. It'll be marvellous. Anyway, getting back to Xenia Drury-Gregorek, let's just see what she's been up to, and then we're going to come back to some more.
Hey Matt and everyone at home, hope you've had a good week and enjoying the beautiful sunshine. So, Fishing Fun with Zen, we've brought you fun, we've brought you resourcefulness, using ingredients in your cupboards to make some bait, and we've also brought you interaction with a family fishing interactive game. Well, this week it's all about education, because we want you kids to educate us adults about some amazing fish from around the world. So you've got to make a fishing poster with fun facts about that fish, and it's a competition, and the winning poster, which is judged by my two sons Zane and ZJ, will win a year's subscription to the Angling Times. So it's a great prize. Just a quick shout out to my buddy Matt. Thank you so much for doing these amazing lives. It's so great to see how well they're doing and be a part of it. So thank you. And all I'll say to everyone at home is keep positive, love to you all, and let's look forward to going fishing again once lockdown is over. Take care.
Well, there you go, folks. The wonderful Xenia Drury-Gregorek, who's going to give another short report in a minute over a very important conservation issue. Oh, I've got a shout out here for a chap called John Henderson from Tammy Robson. And if it's the John Henderson that I know, Tammy, you know some really dodgy people, don't you? But seriously, if it is him, John, I doubt whether you're watching this live. I would imagine you've got a good drink in your hand somewhere celebrating with the fam, but maybe you'll see it on catch up. So a very happy 40th birthday, mate. I'll get there myself one day, but until then, you know, just make sure, John, that you enjoy it for me, will you? Anyway, let's get back into some more of your wonderful pictures before learning about something else, which I know you'll find terribly interesting. Also, coming up, we're at halfway through the hour now. We've still got my float fishing tutorial, where I'll be talking about float fishing live, talking you through the do's and the don'ts. We've got lots more announcements to come up, including the prize winners from the photographic competition. I'll try and do my best to get that in within the hour, so that if you're checking to see if you've won a prize, at least you'll have a good idea of where the last one will be read out. But the best thing is, everybody, please watch as much of the show as you can. Don't leave, because the longer you watch for, once again, that's an incredibly important stat in taking this show up to the next level. Xenia's saying thank you to everybody for all your hearts and loves and everything else. I know you're probably sending them up in droves. Everybody usually does when it comes to Zen, so that's great. Getting back to the pictures, I've got one here from a gentleman called Simon Mayo. And Simon actually isn't the guy who does that film thing with Mark Kermode. He's the carp fishing Simon Mayo, and he sent us stuff before. I think you'll really like this one. It's just a very, very simple picture, isn't it? But it's a time-honoured and very, beautiful scene. Now, the interesting thing about this picture to me is that you've got 3 perfectly aligned rods. Even the reel handles look to me as if they've been lined up really well, Simon. So it looks to me, mate, as if you've got a little bit of the old OCD thing going on there. And you know, this is a really interesting debate in fishing, because are you a person who wants everything symmetrical? If you're in carp fishing, do you want your alarms, your indicators level, your reel handles level? Do you take a spirit level out to your kit when you go carp fishing? Really? Do you? And if you do, please send up those hearts and loves now, because that will tell me. I'm just going to do a quick straw poll here. Hearts, loves, explosions, the biggest you can give it if you like symmetrical stuff when you're carp fishing. And now we're going to call for people who don't really care too much. The sort of people that spread the rods around a bit, and you know, the indicators all look a bit how's your father. The alarms are not really level, and you've probably not got them absolutely straight either, and your bank sticks are all sort of out of alignment. But somehow, amazingly, you know, despite all of these setbacks, and I'm a little bit like that, I'm afraid, you somehow catch fish. It's amazing, isn't it? But hey, I get it. This wonderful picture from Simon. He's got to look at that scene all day, and it is very beautiful. And I guess you want to make it as perfect as possible. So well done, Si. Whatever you voted for, I'm with you on this one, mate. At least this time. Anyway, now then, let me introduce you to 2 very good friends of mine. Ritchie Johnson, folks, I first met many moons ago on a night in Dublin, which was extremely eventful, and Ritchie was absolutely gold dust, let me tell you. We were pike fishing during the daytime, and then basically in the evening, Ritchie led everybody on these tours of the Dublin pubs, and it was absolutely incredible. Things I'll never forget with Rich. And of course, as the years go by, I lost contact with Rich, and I can see a few of you actually commenting now about float fishing. Well, we're going to cover that later on. Who said that? Not Graham Prentice. Oh, spirit level on the rods. And Glasgow Junior. I think you'd have a bit of bling on yours, mate. Bit of jewellery. Mick Perkins really enjoying this. Well, you stay with it, everybody. Watch as long as you can. Tell everybody else. Tell as many people as you can, and get more people involved. So, getting back to this wonderful character, Ritchie. I hadn't heard from Ritchie for ages, and then I bumped into a fellow in Ireland, and he said, yeah, he said, I know Ritchie. He's game fishing most of the time, but he still loves his pike fishing, and he knows all about fishing on Loch Curran, which was a place that I really wanted to fish. So he said, why don't you ring him up? And I said, oh, I can't. I mean, I haven't spoken to Rich for like 10, 15 years. And he said, no. He said, he won't mind. You know what Richie's like. He's still the same. So I picked up the phone, dialed the mobile number given, and this rather sleepy, groggy voice, Irish accent, hello there, hello. And I said, Ritchie, it's Matt Hayes. And quick as a flash, in the midst of half sleep, he responded by saying, Matt, hello, how are you? Have you had your teeth fixed yet? And I'll never forget that, Rich. And of course, as time's gone by, Rich is now a very proud dad to Noah, and I can see why. Noah, I know that you're an amazing lad. I know that your dad is incredibly proud of you, and so am I. I've been watching your fishing adventures through the pictures that you post on my various social media over the last 12 months or so, son, and I know that you're going to be a very, very fine fisherman indeed. In fact, the truth is, you probably already are better than your dad. Mark Waldron, a great venue match. Smethwick legend, good lad. I told you, the Smethwick posse, you can't beat them. Posses actually, folks, are going to become really important in the future for reasons I can't go into, but feel free to create your own posses and identify as posses. Send photographs as posses, hold events as posses, and we'll try and use some of your video clips from your get-togethers, some of your pics, and just celebrate your amazing friendship, your amazing fishing trips. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Joe Threlfall wants to say hello to Tammy Robson. You just did, mate, and I think you did it in the comments. Don't forget, everybody, you can communicate with me here and now by just commenting. You have to keep trying, because sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't, but the more times you comment, obviously the more times I am likely to see you. Babs Kashevsky did exactly that this afternoon in the impromptu live, and she got me pretty much straight away. Anyway, there you go. So we've got Ritchie Johnson and his son Noah, and I'm going to tell you, Noah, that I'd like everybody to put their hands together for you, son, because you are our first winner of the evening. Give it up for Noah Johnson, everybody, over there in Ireland. And Noah has won something I think he'll love, which is one of the Berkeley hollow belly shad kits. So you'll be catching even more pike, son. Big thumbs up for Noah there, everybody. Cracking lad. You're going to see plenty more pictures coming up like this one. Now, Why We Fish hasn't so much been about catch pictures, but of course I do like to throw in a few jaw droppers now and again. And I think you'll agree that this one from Richard Randall is an absolutely amazing carp. It's a big fish, and Richard looks like he's a decent sized lad who can handle himself. So he hasn't said how big the fish is, but I'm assuming it's got to be, everybody, north of 40. I don't know. What do you think? Use the comments box. I can check this later when I watch the catch up. If you're watching this on catch up, you can still comment, because I'll be watching the catch up and looking at the comments boxes up to a couple of days after the show goes out. But it's a big fish, isn't it? I mean, I'm thinking 40. The man himself can probably tell us at some point, but yeah, just try and get your head around that one. Oh, my wife's watching now. I thought she may have fallen asleep. How are you, darling? Just meters away, so near and yet so far. We've been together many years now, and that time has passed so quickly, and we're best fishing mates now, aren't we, kid? You know, she's learning to salmon fish with a fly after years of being frightened of being hooked with the fly when she's fishing. But anyway, she decided to go for it, and now my Mrs. WH, as we call her, Mrs. Winceness Hayes. If you know my missus, and I know some of you do, you know, give her lots of big love and applause for staying awake for so long, because I know she was feeling very sleepy. She's a really busy working mum. She is the brains behind this operation we've got out here in Norway, which as time goes by in the fishing show, you're going to find out more about, because when I'm out salmon fishing in the summer, I'm certainly going to be looking at live broadcasting from the bank, believe it or not. And who knows? You never know. We might even hook up a big old Atlantic salmon during the live show. We're going to try and make that happen. I'm going to try and make lots of things happen if you keep supporting me the way that you are, folks. Keep those numbers up. Terry Hardy thinks £50-ish on the carp. Well, you know, it's hard to argue with. Jack Brennan saying 42. Jordan Char Hembry just saying, what a fish. Tommy Sixrone, 40 plus defo, absolutely. And Timothy Griffin agreeing with me there. Fantastic. Tammy Robson saying she's here. Lovely Batman little clip art thing there. Let me tell you, Tammy, I am a Marvel fanatic. I love Marvel comics. I've been really keen on them ever since I was a little boy, and me and my young son now, Josh, we collect Marvel together. We subscribe to many of their comics, and you know, I regularly read them just for leisure. I love them, absolutely love them. Anyway, that's a complete aside. I guess we just better look at another picture. Talking of get-togethers, here we go. Look, this is a great idea, everybody. If you want to interact with the show and, you know, share your love for the sport, that's what the hashtag Why We Fish program is all about, then these group get-togethers like this one here. Now, this one was sent in by Richard Minty. He's with the Coast to Coast Facebook page / posse, and this is one of their get-togethers. Neil Fallows reckons £46, 12 ounces. Good lad. And you might well be right, but you might be wrong, my son. You never know. Dan Escott, Marvel all the way. Enough said. Anyway, the Richard Minty picture here is a shining example to anybody who might have a group photo of you and your mates, or you and a group that you belong to. How marvellous is that? John Dipriel asking how my dad is. Very well, thank you very much. Hopefully I haven't sent him off to sleep. He's still watching this. I'll just grab a quick drink. And lots of my family, actually. I know young Ben's watching tonight. Jess is watching. Some of the Westerns, maybe. Some of the Hattons. Anyway. Now then. Good friend of mine who has been following my stuff for a good number of years is Phil Copeland, who, in addition to being the one, the only inimitable Karen Turner's chauffeur, let's hear it for Karen, everybody. She is my social media what I was going to say, what is she? Well, she's one of my biggest supporters. She's so supportive to everybody else that comes on with information. If I'm not able to comment or I'm not around, she just really looks after my corner. And I know that she and Phil are good friends, and Phil has been coming along to my events. And I'm talking about shows and exhibitions since the very early days of the NEC show in Birmingham. Can you believe that? Absolutely amazing. It goes back that far, and we're talking about, you know, probably 30 years, aren't we, Phil? Something like that. Phil recalls those days really well, so do I remember Phil at those shows, and I've regularly seen him coming to stuff ever since. He's a mad keen angler. He fishes over in the fens, over Mick's neck of the woods. He knows Mick quite well, actually. And there you go. Matthew Jessup, lovely. Phil, Matt Ruston. It's just the colours, Phil, and it's almost like an old postage stamp in a way, but I adore canals, and you've nailed it, mate, with this just beautiful, I'm assuming, twilighty sunset, slightly long exposure. Yeah, I mean, Tony Younger Green, lovely picture, and Xenia, of course, Tudor, Christopher Elliott, Michael Harrington, Pete Langley, all absolutely loving this picture. Don't worry, I've got another second wave of shout outs to do very, very shortly. Those that were posted in advance. Now remember, if you want shout outs, you can always post ahead of the show on any of the posts relating to the show throughout the week, and I will pick them up and try to get them in the show. It's the best way to guarantee it, John Mulvin, isn't it? You're a bit late signing on. Well, I've already given you one good shout out, John, but more from you coming later, and more from everyone else with more pictures. Getting back to Phil's picture, it's absolutely beautiful. There is something about it, and I adore canals. My dad used to take me fishing on canals when I was a kid, and I used to go with my granddad, who was a fine all-round fisherman. He could fly fish, he could coarse fish, he won prizes in fishing matches, and my early childhood memories of fishing all centre around his fishing shed, actually, where he used to breed his own maggots in a biscuit tin. He made his own spinners with a little ball peen hammer, and made tiny little fly spoons with coke ring pulls. And flies, he used to tie his own flies. He was a fine coarser fisherman, an extremely fine game fisherman. Used to disappear off for weekends in Wales, according to my nan. She was a proper fishing widow. And, you know, she told me, of course, those were the days of plenty when you could harvest fish. And she said we never used to have to take any food. He always supplied enough fish. I took vegetables, but he always supplied enough fish for the week with his catches of sea trout, or suing, as you lads in Wales call them, or salmon. And it's why I hope that one day the supplies of those fish will become plentiful enough for him to start to enjoying the odd bit of selective harvesting here and there. But until then, and we're a long way from that stage, let's keep putting them back, folks. Here's a lovely picture here. I really love this, and I know you're going to love it too. Remember, send up the likes and loves if a particular picture is a real favourite, because that will give me a good idea of the sort of pictures that you want to see. There are more catch pictures coming up soon. I've got the float fishing tutorial delivered by me to deliver live. That'll be coming up very, very shortly. Loads to cram in, but this is a beautiful picture, I think you'll agree. And this one is from Paul Kay, and it's Barnesfold water, apparently, in Lancashire. Don't know whether anyone know that. Mark Stone just says, wow. Terry Whittington, nothing like being there yourself. I think he was commenting tell there on the canal picture, but Dan Escott says, wow, it's just a beautiful picture. And let me explain something to you about why this picture is so powerful, folks. It's because the promontory leads your eye through the image. It takes it on a journey, and that is why compositionally this is actually such a wonderful picture. Now, I mentioned to you earlier on that there was some important conservation news, and I'd like to turn you over now to Xenia Drury-Gregorek, who last year actually met with a chap called Viv Shears. Now, Viv's a really interesting guy, he's a lovely fella, and he came up with one of those ideas that was so beneficial to nature and so simple and so obvious. Now, I haven't got time to show you loads and loads of what they're up to here. So what I would advise is that in the catch-up post, I will put up the link to Viv's various Facebook page and probably website about the National Line Recycling Scheme, because this is an amazing scheme. Isn't it, young Harry Mack? Lovely to see you, mate. I was wondering whether you'd show up, young man. Harry Mack, one of my family, definitely one of the posse, and lovely lad, keen on his fishing. You need to get out on the bank with my dad and me, H, fairly soon. You do. Anyway, let's just get back to Viv Shears and the Line Recycling Scheme. It is brilliant. Here's Viv, introduced by the one and only Xenia, and this is great, folks. Just have a listen and a watch of this.
Today I'm here to meet Viv Shears. Viv is a passionate environmentalist, and he is on a mission to change the way every angler in the UK thinks about this great sport of ours. Let's go and meet him. Hey Viv,
Hi,
nice to meet
How
you,
are
okay?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you.
Excellent.
Yes, Xenia, as anglers we're environmentalists, and amazingly as well as anglers we will probably use about 1.25 million kilometres of line every year, and that ends up going into landfill and into incinerators to be burnt, which either isn't a good option for the environment. So what we've done is created the Anglers National Line Recycling Scheme.
What can those involved in angling do to help?
Well, Xenia, as an angler, every year you'll respool your reels. All right? So when you go to do that, instead of chucking it in the bin, put it into a carrier bag and save it. What we have is around 240 shops in the UK now, tackle shops, that have a recycling bin with our logo in on the bin. So all you need to do when you go into that shop, take your old line. We can take monofilament, braid, and even now fly lines. So everyone, every type of angler in the UK can get involved with helping to make the sport a little bit greener. So take it along, drop it in the bin, it then comes back to us to be recycled.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let's hear it first of all for the amazing Xenia Drury-Gregorek for the second time this evening. Our little roving reporter there doing an absolutely amazing job. And I think that scheme is fantastic. It's very important as anglers that we leave a minimal footprint in nature. That's not just something that we should aspire to. It's something that we should try and achieve as a bare minimum, because our interface with nature, our ability to experience nature in a way that few other people get the chance to that don't fish, it is unique, it's precious, and it's the very least we can do. So schemes like Viv's there, the one reported by Zen, let's send it up for Viv, because I think he did a great job of explaining it. He's a really top fella doing some amazing work, and I know that I'm really pleased to be able to say that several of the companies that make fishing tackle that I work with are actually backing Viv's scheme, and that's important to me. Abu Garcia, which has been a brand I've used most of my life, Shakespeare, and in fact we originally recorded that interview for the Shakespeare Fishing Heroes series, but this somehow took over, and I believe also Jrc, potentially Berkeley, so a whole host of really major fishing brands getting behind Viv's amazing scheme. Incredible. We're going to look at some more pictures now. We're going to do some more shout outs. Karen Turner, Phil Coupland, Nick's Links from Surrey. I think I've done you already, Nick's, but you know, there you go. Double bubble. James Ramsey from Frome. Darren Haywood from Barnsley. How are you, Darren? Jerry Pullen from Exeter. Craig Welch from Wales, my good friend Vince, hopefully watching in Ontario but might be out fishing. Billy McGee wants to say hello to his kids Lewis and Ava and his wonderful wife Amy, who apparently is working on the front line as a care worker. That is amazing, Amy. Everybody, you know what to do. Let's hear it for Amy. What I'm doing here tonight is great fun. What she's doing is absolutely critical, and total respect to anybody who's watching tonight associated with any form of frontline work. You've been amazing. It looks like fishing will be one of the first sports to come back when the lockdown is lifted, and it looks like we're getting towards the stage now where things are looking better, and really that is down to the fabulous people, including members of my own family. I said people from my family are watching, and I've said that I won't talk about individuals for fear of embarrassing them, but there are members of my own family who are working on the front line, and they know who they are. So thank you from me, and thank you from everybody, I think, for that wonderful effort. Young Ben, he's a member of my family. He's watching. I know he just said hello, Uncle Matt. Saw that just a few minutes ago. Did those shout outs. So let's just have a look now at some more pictures. We've got the float fishing thing coming up in a few minutes. So everybody, please, if you haven't done it already, the most important thing that you can do tonight for me is to share this post. That's the most important thing. That is what will increase the reach to more people without having to spend loads and loads of money to achieve the same thing. This is the People's Fishing Show. This is the show that's been created in response to your enthusiasm. And it's rude of me to ask you for any more, but I know you'll give it. So please, folks, if you're watching this, if you're enjoying this, please share the post, and we're going to get this to as many people as we possibly can. Let's get back now to your pictures, because we're running out of time now. I've got to try and squeeze a lot of stuff in. I'll get in trouble with Dickie. Okay, so we've already shown this great picture, and here's one from the Netherlands, from a gentleman called Nico Den Heer. Now, obviously, Nico, I haven't included you in the prize draw because I would imagine postage between countries is pretty iffy at the moment, but you get full marks, my son, for capturing a fantastic moment. So let's hear it for Nico, everybody. I think he's done a fantastic job. He was obviously right place, right time, and I think it was an iPhone moment. So Nico, you must have been pretty close to that fish when you snap that picture. Charlotte Luce is saying, I've sent pictures. Well, if you are watching this on catch up, or you're watching it now and you attach pictures in the comments, I'll try my best to get them into next week's live, which heaven knows, if we are successful in taking this to an even bigger number of views and a bigger number of traffic, I don't know where we're going to end up, folks, but this is one heck of a roller coaster, and we might as well ride it while we can. Remember, when you get back out there fishing, this will be all about your catches, your videos. Oh my word. Well, what can you say? We had a guess earlier on about a big carp. What do you think about this amazing pike? I mean, it's definitely, I think Neil says it's over 40. An absolutely massive fish, caught apparently while fishing from his kayak, which is fantastic, really, when you think about it. Look at that. That really is an incredible pike, Neil. What do you reckon, folks? I mean, that is, yeah, somebody's saying there, the Duke's old phrase, put a saddle on its back and swim across, you know, ride it across the lake. Absolutely. Look at that. That's a proper fatty. And of course, playing it from a kayak. Incredible. I've played some quite big pike from belly boats, by the way, folks, and you get towed all over the place. So in fact, one of the things I'm really looking forward to showing you, hopefully later in the season, is the new Abu belly boat, which I'll be using to do a bit of fly fishing with in the summer, and I'll be testing that out. It's actually, J.S. Carp said Beast, and in fact the belly boat is called the Beast. How amazing is that? And Harry Mack saying, yeah, what a specimen. I think he means the fish, not you, Neil. hopefully. Anyway, there you go. And what about this? I would like to introduce you to our second winner of the evening, a winner of the Berkeley shads, which are absolutely fabulous. The hollow belly shad collection, which I think you saw earlier on, absolutely incredible colour range with these shads, very slender. And also, actually, what's interesting is they catch big perch, because this is a perch that was actually caught, I believe. Yes, it is. It was a fish caught on one of the... Can you see how they collapse? And apparently that's a very important feature. They've got a very big paddle tail. They've got a very sleek profile, but apparently they are absolutely the business. So there you go. This young man here, Mike Hardy, with a £3 perch. If perch are your favourite species, well, you know what to do. It gives me a good idea. Somebody saying, Gary Haynes saying that's a cracking perch. Adrian Faunt saying he needs a new belly boat. You and me, mate. I'm still waiting. If you're watching, John Henderson, happy 40th birthday. Ian Parkhouse, Andrew Matthews, Tony Brunton, Dominic Marvell, Viv Shears. Listen to this, folks. Viv Shears, talking about the National Line Recycling Scheme, has said that anglers have sent 6 million metres of line, 6 million metres of line to the National Line Recycling Scheme. You heard the details off Viv. Let's try, Viv. Let's try and make that even more, because that is very, very, very impressive indeed. Okay, now this, I'll admit, is an unusual picture, and of course that always gives you a very, very good chance of getting in. Keep it clean, obviously, but if you employ the sort of imagination that this man here, Matt Ruston, has, who apparently really does enjoy kissing catfish. I don't know. I mean, do you, Matt, really? Because you are looking a little bit sheepish, and it's not exactly massive contact, is it? You haven't got both of your lips there absolutely covered in that wonderful slime. Although I can imagine that after a couple of weeks on the bank, probably out in the sun somewhere, it says, I think it's a Catmaster unhooking mat in the distance, and that tells me that that is actually a Spanish photo, and that will be a fish from the Ebro most likely. And I've seen quite a few people, we've got some regulars who send us stuff of catfish, which I really do love to use. Tammy Robson wishing John Henderson a happy 40th birthday again. I think we've already done that actually, Tammy, unless I'm seeing this in catch-up, which hopefully I'm not, and I'm still broadcasting. Dave Tolman saying he could put his head in that mouth. It reminds me of Billy Smart's circus when I was a kid, you know, and they used to put the head in the mouth of the lion. Thankfully, nobody seems to be doing that these days. But I mean, I have actually been scraped quite badly by catfish over the different encounters I've had with them. They don't have a tremendous biting power, I find, but those rasping teeth, which are really designed to hold on to stuff, and that's what you need to understand about a catfish, is that those Velcro-like teeth, which face backwards, are designed for grasping fish, which are easy to get out of the catfish's mouth and wriggle away, and they can't because of the design of those teeth. So really it's a maw, and basically some of those huge catfish that they catch on the Ebro will actually eat, 20-25 pound carp, no problem. I mean, imagine that. Absolutely huge predators. Now, I do need to move on to the live float fishing tutorial. We'll do that, and then it'll be rounding up with some of your pictures. I will overrun slightly, folks, but we're getting very close now. Please remember to share if you haven't had already. Send up the likes and the loves to keep the momentum going. Phil Coutland says he's only 29. Yeah, right. I think I've known you for almost 29 years, Phil, so you must have been a baby or, some kind of embryo or something, if that's the case. Darren Michael Slater, shout out to the most glorified, please. Adam Bridgman, dying to catch his first catfish. Phil Coupland, Karen Turner, you probably kiss your spiders. She probably does, actually. Karen does collect spiders and I think snakes, along with my oldest son, Dan, who is also a collector of such strange things. Okay, everybody, let's have a look now at that tutorial about float fishing. This is a basic fishing tutorial. It covers the real fundamental skills of fishing. Very important for families, but very important for anyone who fishes at any time, because there are always little tips and wrinkles with anything that you can get. My wife just commented there, I would love to reply to you, my angel, but I can't because you've popped off the screen because the comments come in so quick. But I'm looking forward to a cup of tea at the end shortly. Won't be too long. Okay, so let's go into the float fishing tutorial, everybody. Remember to send it up, share and everything else, because that's what gets the people involved. Now, this one was actually filmed at one of my favourite commercial fisheries, Furnace Mill Fishery, which is over my neck of the woods, over near Shropshire. And I'm just rumbling around for the right float. That's the one. Nice insert waggler, attached bottom end only. That's the float for the day. And now I've got that done, look at the line filled up to the lip of the spool of the reel, a Shakespeare agility reel. That's important to fill the line up to the lip for casting. And you want a rod like this one. This is a Shakespeare agility match, 13 foot. Lovely length, 12 to 13 feet. And there's why we call the float an insert waggler. You can see it sitting there beautifully. And of course, the fat part of the float is below the surface. Now, if we look at here what's going on, you can see that the bulk of the shot go around the base of the float. We call them the bulk shot. And there are a few shots spread out at even intervals down the line until we get to the hook. If you want to know more about this, please go to my YouTube channel, my official channel, and you will find out a lot more about float fishing. Here's a basic cast, bringing the rod over my shoulder, pretending I'm balancing a small stone on the end. Slowly, slowly, balancing that stone, and then we want to flick the stone. So we let go of the line at the apex, just as we're pointing the rod tip at the steeple of the church. Let go of that line. All about timing. In she goes, directly underneath my position there, but something important here. Up comes the float. Watch the line that's stuck on the surface in a big coil underneath me. Potentially that could drag the float out of position, but there is a trick that you can employ, and that's why I've slowed this down. Look at the float disappearing. That's not a bite, it's me tightening up at the rod end and shifting that big boa line by plunging the rod tip under the water, making 3 or 4 fast turns, and that sinks the line between the float and the rod tip, and it doesn't matter which way the wind blows, it won't move your float. So it's a simple tip. Now I've left this to show you, look, as the dropper shots kick in, the shots that are down the line, you'll see the float sink slightly lower in the water. And that sequence and the timing of that sequence is very, very important. As is feeding little and often. By hand if you want to. Now there I am, just taking in the sun. There's the float. Ooh, little touch there, and I'm in. I've slowed that one down to show you that you should strike positively and through the shoulder. What have we got here? Well, it's a lively fish. Still, the old maestro's in control. Reaching for the landing net, and there she is. Now, that's not a crucian carp in case you think it is. It's actually a hybridised carp called an F1, which you find a lot of these days in commercial fisheries. And there you go. There's a bit of unhooking, using an unhooking mat. Beautiful fish, actually. Interesting fish. Bred very much for the match fishing scene, but getting bigger. And good fun to catch. Really good fun to catch. So, another cast or two. I had a lovely day out there in the sun. Les Mary will know this spot well. He's sat there. My dad sat there. Catches the sun in the afternoon. A little bit more feed. Remember, you can always put more in, but you can't take it out. Little and often's the way to go. And I bet I'll get another bite. And there's the float. Nicely dotted down. And there you go. You could have said Hail Mary 3 times waiting for that one. Of course it resulted. What have we got this time? Now this one is no carp, In fact, it's a Bream. Now look at the unhooking mat, everybody. The reason that I am always recommending that you use an unhooking mat, especially on stones and gravel, is exactly perfectly demonstrated with this Bream here. There she is. The common all bronze Bream. Caught using simple float fishing tactics with maggots and maybe in this case a bit of sweet corn. One of our quintessential British coarse fishes, many of which can be caught, of course, with a simple float. It really is a fine way to fish. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please send up those likes and loves now. Let me know that that's the sort of thing that you want to see more of, because there's plenty more in the bank. And please, everybody, have a look at my YouTube channel and don't forget to subscribe. You'll find 2 extended float fishing tutorials on there. They are Matt Hayes Fishing Show. They're in the Matt Hayes Fishing Show playlist. Float Fishing 1, Float Fishing 2, How to Float Fish. And that just about brings us to the end of the official part of all the features. So now it's down to me. I am overrunning slightly, but we're getting there, folks. So I'm going to finish as close to 9 o'clock as possible. It's just so much to pack into the show. And I know that all of you still watching, Barry Lee Cullis, Glenn Mills, Jodie Stafford still on, Jason O'Leary, Jack Brennan. I know that you all want those shout outs, so I'm going to stay with you just for a bit longer. Let's just get back to those photographs and let's have a look here. Now, this one is another winner. Our first landing net winner of the night, ladies and gentlemen. The Jrc X-Lite Net, a carbon landing net, widely renowned as being extremely light, has a built-in light with different coloured LEDs for night work, and the same thing is part of a system that can actually be clipped onto your cap. It's an amazing thing. I've got 3 to give away, and this guy Matt Ruston, who you saw a moment ago kissing catfish, has got one, because this is just simply a beautiful, beautiful carp. It's what we call a two-tone fish. You find bream sometimes like this. You find carp sometimes like it. Usually the commons are more susceptible. Huge shout out, Adrian Faunt, for Jade. Lovely to know you're watching, Jade. Everybody, send up your likes and loves. Jordan Shah Hembry still watching. Andy Caswell, Kim Drury still with me. Thank you very much. I know a lot of you still are with me. Keep asking for the shout outs, because I should be able to squeeze plenty more in before we cut out. But well done to Matt Ruston. A reminder to winners, including Matt Ruston, please use the new email address, which I'll post attached to the catch-up post at the end of the show, matthayesfishingshow@outlook.com, and then I'll pass on your addresses to the people that need to send out the pictures. So congrats, Matt, your perseverance paid off there. Now then, look at this. This is an absolutely gorgeous picture. I know that sunsets are really popular on the Matt Hayes Fishing Show, because we featured quite a few last week, and they always are a winner. Send up your love for those sunsets, everybody, because they really are top notch. And Liam Roberts, Tim O'Kane, Stephen Graham saying it's an excellent show. Why, thank you, kind sir. Timothy Griffith, Ian Parkhouse saying lovely pic. Mark Stone saying stunning. Phil Lightbone, what a photo. Well, it is, isn't it? And I think fairly natural colours, beautiful twilight colours. An absolute dream, that picture there. Now then, how about this? This, to me, is a picture that epitomises why we fish. And I love to see the young fella there. Mark Pilley, his dad, doesn't actually say who his son is, but you're a cracking lad. And just look at that beautiful, gorgeous fishing scene. For a first start off, you want to be there and fish there, don't you? It's just quintessentially British and beautiful. And look at the bend in his rod, grunting and heaving away to catch his fish. I just think it's a wonderful picture. And I think, young Master Pilley, that if you're going to carry on catching fish of that size, you're going to need a bigger net. And that's why you are the second landing net winner of tonight. the Jrc X-Lite Landing Net. So on future occasions, son, you will be able to embarrass your dad, Mark Pilley, no problem whatsoever. Big love and likes for the Pilley family there, everybody. And what an absolutely gorgeous picture. Now here's another one which I think is really great. This one's a Canal Pike, and it's Mark Child's, and it's, I believe, his grandson Tommy. You don't look old enough, Mark, but anyway, you've caught a beautiful pike. And I'll tell you what, everybody, let's hear it for Mark Childs and his grandson Tommy, because that's a blooming good fish for the canal and it looks well fed. Thank you, Viv Shears. I'm glad you've really enjoyed it. Harry Mack, everybody's staying with me. A lot of people are staying with me. Please do watch for as long as you can. It does mean a lot to me. Mark Childs and grandson Tommy with a pike. I think such fine predator fishing is definitely worthy of a Berkeley prize. So here you go, everybody. More winners. Mark Childs and his grandson Tommy. Fabulous pike capture. They are winners of a collection of the Berkeley hollow belly shads, which is fantastic. And it's a really lovely fish from a canal lat. Don't underestimate. This is not some fish from a great big lake or a gravel pit. This is a fish from a canal. Absolutely superb. Now, some of you may have heard me mention the inimitable Linda Penfold Saxon, who is well known for her sense of humour, but she has, in this particular occasion, pulled off a bit of a blinder, because this apparently, it is a great pike, isn't it, Jodie Stafford? I agree. And Paul Botterill, and Adam Bridgman, and Michael Harrington, and Niall Harty. Welcome aboard, son. Hadn't seen you comment tonight before. So, Linda, yes, your fishing truck is amazing. If you think you've got a better fishing truck than Linda Penfold Saxon, everybody, then please, you know what to do. Send in the picture. Attach it to any one of the posts during the week that relate to the show, just as a comment, and I'll get it. So there you go. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Want to see another winner, everybody? Rattling through them now. Here you go. How about that? Now, I can tell you that this is Elliot and Lily Laming. So, hands, lots of applause, loves, joys, really big time for young Lily Laming, because what a beautiful catch. She's obviously enjoying a terrific day there with her dad. I can see a bit of paraphernalia in the background. Looks like a frozen chair. My daughters would love that one, Lily. Don't let them see it. I hope they're not watching. They are in bed, aren't they, AM? But anyway, and of course Lily probably will be soon, but hopefully you're still watching this, Lily, because you have won some of those amazing Berkeley shads, the hollow belly shads that you can put flavour in, and they collapse when the fish bite them. They're incredible colours. They're all glitter finishes. They're just utterly incredible. I know that the amazing Babs Kashevsky loves these lures too. Are you still watching, Babs? I think you probably are. You've been amazing. I know Zen's still watching. Those shads actually do look good. I've got to say that, you know, they do. Let's just. We're rattling through the pictures now, nearly getting to the end, folks. I hope you think that this has been worth it. Let's have a look now at another Berkeley winner. And this one is Les Stewart's daughter, Courtney. Come on, everybody. Send it up for Courtney Stewart. Father Les, don't know where you hail from, but wherever you hail from, you get to fish some lovely places. Look at that beautiful pond behind Courtney. She's kneeling down. She's holding that carp beautifully. And I've no doubt, Courtney, that you caught that fish, and you must be very, very proud. And that's why, Courtney, Courtney Stewart, you are another winner. Yes, you've won another wonderful Berkeley shad selection. How good is that? Now, I've mentioned a good friend of mine a few times, none other than the inimitable Les Merry, capturing 2 fishing families. And there's my dad over on the far side, Les next to me, Les's son. It's 2 families fishing together. We had a day together at Furnace Mill, and I actually met Les through social media, believe it or not. And through social media, we ended up him coming along to some of my live fishing days at Furnace, and he always came along. And in the end, we just became mates. And I said, "Look, Les, please stop paying the money. Just let's go and fish." So we all got together, my dad and Les and his lad, and it was just fabulous. Les is a wonderful fella. He lives down, I believe is it Gloucester, Les, something like that. But anyway, he lives with his Mrs. Les, Heather, and they are just absolutely wonderful people and good friends. Who's this? Now, this is absolutely fantastic, and to be honest, I wish I had got more prizes, because this was just borderline. You started doing montages and galleries this week. They're amazing, everybody. Something like this really catches my eye. It tells a story. You know, you can see lots of different pictures that Kelly Marie's put together throughout her fishing life, from a really young child to a young woman. And in actual fact, Kelly Marie, I've decided that you're going to get a prize anyway. You are going to get some of those Berkeley shads. So please use the email address that I mentioned. This is a beautiful thing, which I saw earlier, but I'm now looking at all these pictures from this fishing family, and I think it's terrific. So Kelly Marie, put yourself down as a winner. I've introduced a new one. There you go. How about that? Here's another winner, JS Carp. I love this picture. I believe it's 2 brothers fishing. JS is pretty cool about it. He just calls himself JS, but definitely a Berkeley winner. It's just a beautiful picture. I love the way the light's controlled. I love the backlight. It just smacks of summer. It smacks of fishing. I love the lens flare. I love everything about it. So well done, boys. Jonathan Johansson lives up in the north part of Norway in Finnmark. Difficult getting you the prizes out, but in the future I'll certainly keep you in mind. I have fished in Norway many a scene like this one myself. It reminds me of a place on the outflow and the inflow from a lake that I was fishing with the Dahl Ericsson just last year. Gorgeous scene in the land of the midnight sun. I would imagine that's probably about as light as it got that day, eh, John? John Malvern, watching of course over in Spain, sent in this beautiful effort. I mean, it's an amazing sunset. I know that the picture was taken by a chap called John Arvitsland, I believe, and John Malvern's got permission to use the picture. Folks, that is a doozy of a sunset. Wow. Amazing picture. I think it's pretty much a professional job, so I haven't put it in for the prize draw. Plus, John Malvern is over in Spain, so we'll have to pass on giving you a prize for that. But I mean, thank you, and full marks. Let's hear it, everybody, for John and John, for what must be the best sunset that we have seen. I think a few of you agreeing. Mark Stone, won't read out what you said, mate, family show, but I agree totally. Oh, Heather Simmons Mary's watching. There you go. Mrs. Les. And Dave Tallman still on, Declan Murray, Dan Escott, Robert Butterfield. How are you, Robert? Of course, Robert was last week's Why We Fish picture winner with his daughter, Aicha, and they got their prize will be one of those fabulous JRC shelters that I showed you. Still more to come, just running through them. This chap is a friend of several friends of mine, John Depriel, with his daughters. I think this picture's just unbelievable, John. I love it. I love the fish. I love the colours. I love the kids. It's natural. It's almost candid, you know, and I love the colours. It's just beautiful, mate. And it captures a special moment for you. And now Martin Anything That Swims Spooner agrees with me. You know, you've just done it, mate. Paul Lander, Michael Harrington, beautiful picture, John. Alex Moses, keep posting, everybody. Keep liking, keep loving right the way up to the end. And remember those shares for the post. If you haven't done it, maybe you'll do it at the end, but please don't forget before you go to bed. I need them. I need them. Jodie Stafford, of course. Jodie has followed every live, I think, so far. Big supporter of all my stuff on social, so a big shout out for Jodie Stafford. I know Jodie also in touch with one or two of the other people that come on here, and it's lovely for me to see you interacting with each other and saying hello and giving shout outs to each other. It's great. So thank you, Jodie. Lovely picture, and let's have a look what's next. And a picture like this has to be a landing net winner. So in this particular case, I'd like to put your hands together again for John Dipriel. It's one of his pictures. He has, of course, already won a prize. That's a terrific picture. Sometimes my photos do get mixed up. So if it isn't you, John, whoever it is, and it's a wonderful picture, please let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to correct that, because every now and again... no, I know who it is. It's young Jason Tate. Well, let me tell you, Jason Tate, you are a winner, son. You are a Berkeley winner. I don't know whether you're Jason or whether Jason's your dad. What a beautiful treatment of the photograph in black and white, which caught my eye straight away. But it's a nice black and white. It's a photo that works well in black and white. Brilliant fish care with the unhooking mat there. Fabulous catch, my son. A worthy winner of those Berkeley hollow belly shads. One from Jan van den Root, who watches over in Holland. I promise you, folks, please stick with me till the end. You will want to be here to applaud the final picture. I promise you it is a bit special. But Jan van den Root, watching from Holland. Jan regularly sends in pics. This one wasn't the best resolution, Jan, so I've used it that size. But, I mean, where else could it be from? But from Holland. There you go. A sunset with windmills in it. How good is that? Where else could you get that other than fishing in Holland? Who's this? Well, this looks like another Berkeley winner. This is James Hale's son Oliver with an armful of tench. Glorious, glorious fish, Oliver. Well worthy of winning a prize. You're another selection of Berkeley hollow belly shads. Well done, son. Send it up there for young Oliver. That's a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous tench. There you go. James Hale's his son Oliver fishing there. Not only does he display the fish well, but he also takes a lovely picture when he's watching his float. No wonder he catches so many. Henny Muller here, one of our viewers over in South Africa. So that's absolutely tremendous. With some of the local kids there displaying a small shark-like fish. Looks like a little smooth houndy type fish or something. But fabulous, Henny. Lovely to see that, mate. And keep sending them in. Love the overseas pictures, everybody. Dom Garnett, good mate of mine, with an absolute doozy of a sunset. Dom, if I didn't know you, you'd be a winner, but you probably already know that. This is a canal shot. I think it could be the Exeter Canal. It's just gorgeous, mate, and I love the colours in this. Beautiful, beautiful fish scene. Let's have a look at David Wood Brignall with a fantastic picture. David regularly sends pictures in. I know he works as a host for fishing trips in the north of Norway, and if this is anything to go by, this he was taking. He told me when he was driving back to the airport, they just wanted to take a last snap before they turned round. Jan van den Root saying, "Wow, Dave Tolman." I mean, this is an amazing place where I'm speaking to you from. It is astoundingly beautiful here in Norway, amazingly popular. David, you are another Berkeley winner, my friend. Congrats. David Morris sent in this beautiful picture of the light breaking through at first light. Not the best resolution, but my word, what an absolutely fabulous moment, David. Beautiful, my son. Wait till you see this. Now, I've done my best with this. This is clearly a photograph of a photograph, and this one is David Morris. It was taken over 20 years ago. But look at the size of that bass. Sorry, it's David Chexfield. Look at the size of that bass. It's absolutely huge. Caught off the coast. Haven't got any more details, but what about that? That is an absolutely unbelievable fish. Well done, David. Belatedly, of course. Danny Wadsworth here. Beautiful picture, this one. The light from the twilight in the distance. And many of these pictures could have won the prizes. They're just absolutely fantastic. But this one, wonderful, by Danny Wadsworth. Beautiful twilight scene. Thumbs up for Danny if you like that one. Another one here, Dan Marham, picture of a toad. No jokes, anybody, especially the Smethwick posse, if you're watching. I know that you're not beyond ribald remarks at such things, but great picture. And of course, as fishing people like Dan, we do notice stuff and see stuff while we're fishing, while we're carp fishing, all sorts of wildlife going on, and it gives you the amazing opportunity to capture things like this, which are absolutely unbelievable. Now then, this is a wonderful montage. I told you galleries were good. Look at that, sausage sandwiches. That clinched it for me. The tea, the sausage sandwiches, clearly a keen pike fisherman. Beautiful boat, by the way, Damien. Now, this chap's called Damien Clacker McHale, and I am absolutely fascinated, or maybe I'm not, to learn where the clacker bit comes from. Well, Clacker, I said to you earlier on, you posted a fish picture earlier in the week and I commented on it and I said that was another cracker from the clacker. So, in fact, in recognition of that and this wonderful gallery, Clacker, I am awarding you a collection of Berkeley hollow belly shads. Nearly there, everybody. And how about this one? Again, almost a winner. I don't know. They're all so good. I'm so sorry. Claire Maloney sent this one in. Claire's there at the front, I think, holding the catfish along with her kids and probably the old man. And they're clearly out on a wonderful night fishing trip. Folks, this is what fishing is all about for many of you, these family occasions. I know that you love it, don't you? Stephen Vegas, Mark Stone, Andrew Matthews, Christopher Elliott, Graham McColt, Chris Lightbound, Jim Hewitt, Taliesin Evans, wonderful name, Steve Vegas, Jack Morgan, what a toad, indeed. Not this family, of course, they are absolutely wonderful. And thank you for sharing this catfish moment. Good on you, folks. What a great way to be woken up, if that's indeed what you were. I love this picture. Another Berkeley winner. The colours, I mean, let me tell you something, everybody. When you're submitting pictures for these competitions, what doesn't really normally do it is if I've got a picture of a very big fish, which possibly clearly was not caught by the person in question. I'm not trying to doubt the authenticity, so I was distracted slightly there because I thought the live might have finished. But basically, this is a fantastic fish caught by the captor. The colours are absolutely amazing. What a really wonderful thing. Now then, moving swiftly on, folks, I've got this picture. Not the best resolution, unfortunately, but what is fantastic about it is this flock of birds. I don't know what sort of birds they are. I don't know anybody watching this might know what sort of flock of birds they are, but they're fantastic, and so I've put it in anyway. Barry Lee Cullis sends in another group picture. This is the London Predator Angler team. Now, I understand that the picture's frozen, but hopefully by the time you see this, it will come back. I've got an Arctic Char coming up now, which is another fantastic picture, but this one by Barry Lee Cullis, I think. So that's the London Angler Predator team. Good on you all. Love your picture. Look at this one. One of the world's most iconic and most wonderful fish, the Arctic Char. Sent in by our own reporter from the frozen north, Jonathan Johansson. Lovely mate. One of the fish that I love to catch, and so very, very, very difficult. Here we go. Andrew Whittle, his grandson here, Lewis, with his first roach. Just 2 more pictures to go. Come on, everybody. Those of you who are still watching, I know the feed got broken for a few seconds. Let's hear it now for young Lewis. It's a fabulous, fabulous fish. And I promise you the end is well worth waiting for. Just 2 more pictures to go. Another group shot. Here we've got Carl Smith and his friends out fishing for blue sharks off the good old British coast even. Absolutely gorgeous picture, boys. Very interesting fish, of course. The shape of these fish and the pointed face has always fascinated me. They are a really, really unusual shark. And of course, people like Graham Pullen, one of our great British anglers, catches loads of these things. He's done it for years. If you haven't seen Graham's YouTube show called The Totally Awesome Fishing Show, it is absolutely amazing. So everybody, it's time for me to announce the big winner. Will you please, everybody, put it together for this amazing young lady who wins the Jrc X-Lite Landing Net. And when I tell you that this is Florence, this picture was sent in by Alan Dawson, who may well be Florence's dad, or it might be her granddad. And you might be wondering why Florence is standing next to a fish pond with her little fishing rod there. Now, lots of people have done loads of this sort of thing during the lockdown, but when I tell you that young Florence is actually using this as therapy as part of her chemotherapy, which she recently underwent, Florence did. So she's just an unbelievably brave young woman. I've heard she's doing great. I can see from this picture that young Florence is doing great. And if anyone on tonight's show deserves that landing net, it must be this wonderful young woman. So Florence, I'm glad to know that your treatment is going well. I'm glad to know that you're practicing your fishing, because the next time you go, you're going to have a brand new Jrc X-Lite Landing Net to take with you. So you better build up that strength, kid. You better get yourself ready, because fishing's coming back soon. And when it does, you're going to be ready for it. I've got a sneaky feeling. And I hope that you catch some wonderful fish. If you do, I insist, Florence, that you send in pictures, because the Matt Hayes Fishing Show is here to stay. I started off by saying to everybody, this really is the People's Fishing Show. Show your appreciation, first of all, to the wonderful Florence Dawson. I think it is Florence Dawson, for her amazing achievement. Everybody now saying what a worthy winner you are, Florence. So a big send up the likes, send up the love, send up the shares, send up your appreciation for a fantastic young lady. Send up your appreciation too, folks, for all of our special guests this evening. We've had some amazing ones. I'm going to wrap up now. Jordan Shire-Embry, glad to see you stay to the end. David Harris, much appreciated, my friend. Chris Elliott, Sean Lockyer, Tom Barlam saying just wonderful. I assume, Tom, you're talking about young Florence. Isn't she just an inspiration to everybody? Declan Murray, Jodie Stafford, Adrian Fawn, Xenia Drury-Gregorek, Jan van der Root, Mike Hardy, all applauding, all saying what a great show it's been. It's been a wonderful show, and that's all about your involvement, your pictures, your participation, and you basically getting together with this movement. This show is the People's Angling Show. It's on the march. Put your hands together, everybody. For tonight's sponsors, we're talking about Berkeley and Jrc, who've given us some absolutely wonderful prizes to be able to give away tonight. Eternally grateful, folks. Hope you get the chance to see this. If you appreciate those prizes, send up those likes and loves. Get those shares in, because that's going to increase the prize fund. It's going to increase the number of people I can get on here, the number of prizes, the quality of everything. Next, everybody, please, last and not least, give it up for our fabulous guests on Matt Hayes Fishing Show Live 4. Babs Kashevsky, who did an amazing job, the wonderful Xenia Drury-Gregorek, the inimitable Duke, there is only one, Mick Brown. You can give me a thumbs up if you like for my float fishing tutorial. It wasn't too bad. And if you haven't got a shout out off me, don't worry. Please keep trying. You'll get a chance next time, because this show isn't going away. And with that, hopefully I've survived the ordeal by fire of being broadcasting this live in front of mum and dad, all of you, my clan, who stick with me to the end. So with that, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Look out for the post next week. Watch it on Catch Up again. And with that, all I can say is tight lines.